Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3Bs. I am your host, Daryl Coxey. Welcome back to the show. We've got a fine guest from Canada, Mr. Ed Hill. Welcome to the show, Ed.
Hello.
Hey,
Thanks for having me.
coming. And we're here with Honeybee, Cutie Bee, and all the bees at home. Welcome, Ed. So where are we at? I mean, I'm told that we have a new sponsor, and they've given us this room to record in. How cool is that?
We are at Parlor Live as part of the Parlor Live Entertainment Center, which they got pool tables, ping pong tables, comedy club, restaurant, bathrooms. Come check it out. Wonderful place.
So if you want to dance, laugh, shoot pool, they got you.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, my drink, it's already gone. It was really stiff. So, Ed, I've been wrestling with a question. It's really important to me. Race relations.
Okay.
2017, 2018, we've been struggling a lot with a lot of conflicts. And yes, we're going political. I'm feeding the bear here. I'm feeding the bear. All right, so what can we do, Ed? You're the man with the answers. What can we do to help bring people together? Because right now we're polarizing. We're pulling each other apart. We're demonizing the other side. And it doesn't feel good. Therefore, I admire your relationship with your wife because you're bringing societies together. I believe, my theory is that the piece to race relations is intercourse. And how does it feel to be a part of that process?
Tell us about your misogyny.
I didn't know it was going to take that turn. Wow. Okay. I don't know. I don't even know what you mean by the other side. Because sometimes, we look for answers, but really, are you asking the right questions? Because we're sitting here going, well, how do the two sides? Is there really two sides, or are we just on the same side and we're trying to create two sides? And that's why the problem is.
I think we're trying to create two sides.
Yeah.
I think we're trying to create a thing that's not a thing.
Yeah.
There are racists, though.
Of course
They are racist, of course, yeah.
Like, is it fair to say that there's a side of people who want to be better about race relations, and there's a side of people who want to be worse? Isn't that fair to say? Like,
Yes.
There are legitimate white supremacists out there. Somebody's bombing black people in Texas. Like, there are people out there who are bad and evil, and there are people out there who want them to continue being bad and evil, and others who want them to not.
My question is, are they evil? Is what they're doing evil?
I don't
What's the
think
difference?
they're
Because
even evil.
it comes down to what your perception of human nature is. Do you think people are inherently good or are they inherently bad? Or are they inherently neutral?
What do you think I think? Like, what if you could guess me? Like, I think, do you think that everybody is good? Like, I think that everybody is good, or do you think that I think everything is bad? What if you?
Well, I think all four of us here think people are inherently good.
Yeah.
Oh, I disagree.
I know.
Because you're sitting right next to me. You don't know who I am. I
Mostly
don't know
because
you.
I
don't know
believe
me.
that people are
You think
inherently
people
bad.
are bad, and I think there's good in everybody. You just have to pull it out. And
But
just
Topher,
have
if you
to
think
find-
people are bad, you wouldn't sit next to me. Because you don't know me.
I
could have stole everything you own.
I've
by
met you
this
before.
point.
I'll tell you, my greatest fear is that someday Daryl's going to message me and say, "Good news, we've got a white supremacist on the show today," and I'm going to have to be like, "Okay."
I would love that. Because I am the school of you really need to know your enemy. Like, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. I really think that works out really well.
How are we going to impart change? Is it through getting people fired, or is it by bringing them closer together and having a real conversation and showing them your humanity?
When was the last time you had a real conversation with a white supremacist?
It's been a while.
Yeah,
'Cause
so maybe that is the
I
problem.
frequently talk to white supremacists about their beliefs.
Online.
And it is not
Through
as
rage
though
battles.
it is not as though you can have like a simple like fact-based conversation with these people. When I first left conservatism to be a big dirty faggot liberal, I was dedicated to being as open and like willing
Remember,
to
this is family friendly.
That's fine. Willing to connect with people.
This is family
of
friendly.
different beliefs.
Really, already like way off by this point.
But it's liberal the
He
wrong
thinks
way.
everybody's evil. There's no family.
And what do you do with evil people? You crush them.
Yes.
You crush them.
Yes, you do.
I don't think people are evil. Like I had I have a girlfriend staying over, and we had a debate about guns. And she's all for having like having guns basically, and I am not. And we had a very intelligent, normal conversation, and it was good to have that dialogue.
Sure, but then like when it comes time for you to like cast your vote for some politician who's going to decide on whether or not more guns or less guns,
Right.
all of a sudden your friend is going to go and align themselves with somebody you find morally reprehensible, and you're going to go align yourself with somebody that they find morally reprehensible.
I'm going back to Ed's point here about we're all inherently neutral potentially, because I really do believe that politicians are politicians. I mean, there's not a whole lot of difference in my mind between the two.
Politics is about policies. That's not a thing. Policies doesn't really translate to relationship, right? How often do policy dictate how we live?
Pretty regularly. We were just talking about it. You just bought a house in Canada.
Right.
We in the United States buy houses like it's nobody's business because our government keeps the price of housing artificially low, with the idea that the American dream is that everyone should be able to own and afford a house. Canada doesn't do that, and so fewer people are able to afford to purchase homes.
So
that affects your daily life.
Between Obama and George Bush, how has our housing subsidy changed?
It hasn't.
Boom!
But that's too short of a. That's too short. I think you need to look at a bigger.
There are any number of other policies that haven't
here's the
changed.
danger of considering policy as a way to dictate our lives. Then you're saying we have no choice. That nobody has individual choices as to how they live, because policy will ultimately dictate it. So unless you change the policy, you can change life.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily true. You're not supposed to extrapolate from statistics and use it to dictate your life. Like that's an important part of like sociology. But it is true that if you take a fictional 100 people who are on a range of percentage paid of their income for housing, where at the bottom you've got people who are paying close to 100%, and at the top people are paying close to like 3-4%. When the price of housing goes up, those people at the bottom who are already paying close to 100% for their housing will become homeless.
Yeah.
There is no...
I agree with you, but the original question is not about governance. The original question is about race relations.
Sure.
So it's a relationship question.
All right, and so
Why are we fist bumping?
Because what I'm trying.
I'm
to
not
get
on your
to-
side.
This is like some sort of legit show where we let our guest have the last word. So bring us home on the solution to coming together, maybe not as a society, but as a people individually with our choices.
You
How
should
can we
follow
bring
the
it together?
policies of your government or you go to jail. That's the final word.
That's your thought on race relations? Tough, black people. I'm sorry that you're getting thrown in prison for things that white people get community service for, but you should follow the law.
And on the other hand, you should also question the law and get to know your neighbors. You know?
I agree.
Whatever
I like
your
that.
policies are, you can still get to know your neighbors. The individual level is not the same as the systematic level. The two influence each other, then it's a transaction, right? It's never one or the other.
Thank you. Now, I think it's time to switch gears and do something unexpected. Let's do something fun. Marlene, what do you got for us?
All right.
That wasn't fun?
That was fun.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Hey, don't discredit and invalidate Topher.
I feel like it was a little brief, but yeah. I
Yeah, that was fun. That was
was-
great.
Amazing.
All right.
It was a
So
good conversation. But I'm doing this segue into something new.
It's good. It's the
But you
fortune
invalidated
game.
invalidated my friend Topher by saying doing something fun. That means
Beautiful things here. But what I learned when I looked at the analytics for this show, we do an hour-long show. People watch for about 11 minutes. So we got to keep it hopping.
That's right. It's the cookie time.
Did you hear that?
Stick around.
Did you get that
It's
statistic from the
Easter.
one subscriber? The one guy
I am the subscriber. And
who
we have a
watches
few more.
11 minutes.
Guys,
So apparently only
All
watched
right.
11 minutes.
I think we should. I want to break
You
my
just
own
got
cookie.
busted.
All right. So okay. So what I thought we could do
You want a
in
big one?
conjunction with going deep, and we want to get to know the people that we are surrounded with. We should all
This one's
take a
broken.
Mine's
It still
also
has
broken.
It still has the fork.
Yeah.
These are homemade. There's a place
What?
these are like totally homemade.
And by homemade, you mean like made in a restaurant.
No, what? There's
Is it handmade?
Handmade.
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 I
I'm
buy
sorry.
that all
Oh,
day
okay,
long.
I'm
that's
sorry,
cool.
Okay.
handmade.
By you?
No, not me. Because
Yeah.
I can't put the fortune in there.
Okay.
Oh, you got mad skills.
I do, but it's not.
I'm gonna put the cookie back because I don't
It's
want
not
the cookie.
this. All right, so everybody take.
I got the
cookie.
fortune.
And get the-
Would you like? Yes, please take one.
Fortune happening.
Okay, and then open it up and then read it out loud. Let's go from clockwise.
Well, you can
Mr.
start.
Coxey. Oh, should I start?
Yeah, you
Okay,
start.
Ladies first. All right. Oh, this is good. Focus on your long-term goal.
Ooh.
I can't focus on.
I have the same fortune.
No way.
Nice.
Do you have fortune?
No. While you two are focusing on your long-term goals, I'm supposed to be tactful. What goes around comes around.
Oh snap! That's really good for you, actually, and this is really good for me because if I had any opportunities in my life, it's focusing on anything. I can't focus on anything. Ed, do you have this issue? Do you have like laser like focus in your life?
I feel like this is a sham.
It's all a sham.
Because we have the same fortune.
Doesn't matter. Let's
Yeah, you should
like
let Ed get a new one.
extrapolate.
I should get a new one? Why is
Okay,
it?
anyway,
New one.
Okay, new one. What is like Topher? That'd be hilarious.
Well, what was his again? What was yours again?
Be tactful. What goes around comes around.
I like
Focus on your Do not do not let others take advantage of you.
That's good.
Mm.
That was a good
I
one.
like that.
Because you were a nice guy. I can see how somebody might.
This is actually a big problem. I usually get too nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
I'm nice to everybody, and usually it doesn't get reciprocated.
It's hard to set boundaries sometimes.
Oh
But
my
you have
God,
to.
I know,
You have
right?
to.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, but I think you can certainly be an assertive, nice person without being a jerk.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Me being on this show is a result of that failure to be
Yeah. See,
assertive.
welcome to the show. You won't be paid. Please solve race relations in
Yes,
5 minutes
yes.
or less.
So Topher,
Ready, go.
how do you feel about my fortune? Focus on your long-term goal. If that was your fortune, what would you do with that?
So I feel like it's a little simplistic. Like you definitely need to keep your long-term goal in mind, but if you focus on your long-term goal at the detriment to your short-term goals, then you're gonna live like a really sad and boring life.
Yeah.
But the policies will help.
How's your long-term?
Sure. I mean, personal policies are always good.
Yeah, it's good.
But focus on your long-term goal. I mean, there are times in your life where your long-term goal is not what's important. There are times where the short-term goal is what's important. Say you're going to college and your
Right.
long-term goal is to graduate. So you might be, if you're focusing only on your long-term goal, you might be given to taking classes that don't challenge you, that are particularly easy because you want to
Party.
and you want to graduate.
Right.
Whereas maybe a short-term goal, learning more things,
Yeah.
or learning about something in particular, could become important and
that.
really like set you apart from the rest of the people who got your major and
Let's
that
face
kind
it,
of
you
thing.
want to learn about the girl in the classroom that you've been looking at. That's what you're going to
I mean, if that's your jam,
What's her underwear look like?
I wouldn't know.
What does that have to do with long-term goal?
Yeah.
I feel like it's like super short-term goal.
My long-term goal.
The long-term goal from that is prison.
What?
My long-term goal.
You
is
just got
not
me
done.
too. You're going to prison.
Stop
Me
it.
too. I
That's
know.
right.
Me too. That's a sensitive thing for some ladies.
I know. It is.
It should be for all ladies. It should be for all.
I think it's a
people.
good thing, though.
Yeah, I mean, sexual assault is sensitive for most of the people who have had to endure it.
It's nuts that we have to talk about it when it should already been talked about. You
Right.
know, that's such
Yeah.
a big thing now. Where like it should already be a big thing.
Right.
The French have
Sometimes I see things like this. I'm like, what year are we?
It's shocking
Right.
to me that we have to be like, please don't take your wiener out in front of people who you have not gotten pre-clearance.
Or please
from.
treat everybody the same way.
Yeah, like
So hold on here. We got into the Me Too discussion because I talked about in college wanting to get to know the color of the underwear of the girl in the classroom. That's just having the hots for somebody and then trying to hit on her. And if you're lucky, you may get to that point if you're super smooth and she likes you. By no means did I infer that you should just take the pussy. Okay, let's just be clear about that.
Well, we just,
Nobody,
you know,
nobody accused you of
Nobody
anything,
said
Daryl.
that.
Yeah,
Wow.
I
feeling
think
a lot of
Okay.
I think his
What?
short-term goals need to be
Yeah,
adjusted.
someone is covering something up.
I think what Daryl was trying to say is the short-term goal is to find out what color her underwear is, but the long-term goal is maybe to like
what color are the child that you're going to have
Yeah,
together? Their eye
exactly.
color going to be?
exactly.
What's your fortune?
Oh, thank you for asking. Okay, let's see if I can do this.
No, that's not gonna happen.
What
It's like a beat out.
5 minutes of
I feel that fortune
Webcam
should be for
vaudeville.
the camera because the camera can only focus on long-term
That's
goals.
right.
Gonna do this.
gets so fuzzy.
Wait, now the audio just knocked out. No. Okay, my goal, or no, my fortune is things are not always what they seem.
Oh.
Ooh.
I think for me, what that means is that even though things may look dark in a moment, it's as they say, as cliche as it is, it's just the dark before the light. And so I really feel like, even when things are their worst, it can lead to something good. And every time I've been at a point in my life where I wasn't sure about what's going to happen next, or I was really worried about what was going to happen next, and I was bold enough to take that step forward, good things have always happened. And so I think even when things look bad, it could be good. It could have a positive outcome.
Sure. Sometimes you don't get that shitty stopgap job that you really wanted, and then you end up getting a much better job, and that's a good thing.
Did Daryl just humble brag for
I think
3
he did.
minutes?
Yeah, he did.
Sometimes life is not good, but everything turns out good for me. Okay.
Well, not at all times. I'm talking about goal. I struggle and I struggle and I struggle, and then I make it to the top.
Some people never make it to the top.
And
though.
then
Yeah.
there's another mountain. And so I'm just going
Because there's
on and
always
on
an
and on.
aspect of luck, right?
Right?
Yeah.
There is.
Some people just never make
who
it.
work and work and work and work, and they will
Hold
just
on. Whoa, whoa,
always
whoa, whoa,
be
whoa.
McDonald's
Well, that's why
employees.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
struggling
whoa.
to the middle is probably the best thing. If you want to get to the middle, then you're good. But if you just happen to get to the top, then it's even better. Everybody's values are different. Like we were talking about a few episodes ago. Everybody has different values. Like I personally like spending time with my family or spending time with the people that I like, to spend time with. I don't want to spend my time inside an office or inside a store or whatever, doing my job. I want to do my job and then leave. Other people are zoned in on their career and they just love it.
It depends on what happiness means for you, right?
I think
Exactly.
that's really
The
good.
value-
Actually, I was pulling all that in because I wanted to get to Smiley. Now, I'm
Smiley?
guessing...
My dad, Smiley?
Yes. I'm guessing what was the pinnacle, what he was trying to achieve is essentially a platform that helped him create an avenue for you to achieve even bigger dreams. Tell me I'm wrong.
Shouldn't we explain to the viewers who Smiley is?
Yeah.
What?
My dad's name is Smiley.
Dude, everybody knows.
Nobody
your dad.
knows.
I don't
He's
know
an
that.
immigrant.
Nobody
He's
even
on your
knows who I am.
podcast, Son of Smiley.
Here,
Our
who's
bees
Smiley?
are very formed. They're very woke.
They could be my mom's name is Smiley. Wow.
So give to the people who are not woke.
So my dad's name is Smiley.
Your dad's
He
name is
named
Smiley.
himself Smiley, and he is an immigrant. I am an immigrant
From
too.
where?
From Taiwan, from Taipei,
Taiwan.
Taiwan. Came here in 1984 because the threat of Chinese invasion during the Taiwan-Chinese conflict, which is still ongoing, and President Trump answered the phone of the Chinese president, which is kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. This is the first president ever done that. I don't know he knows what he's doing.
The
but he did it.
the
Because he
Taiwanese president.
recognized their leadership
Yeah.
as an independent state.
We are an independent state. It's just Chinese doesn't recognize us, so everyone else
We
follows
don't,
suit.
by the
Yeah.
way. Our country does not,
Well,
technically.
That's part of the Chinese oppression. You guys want to hear how much extends into
Educate the bees.
my life is so I was going to do a series of shows in China and later this year. I don't know if it's still going to happen. It might. But in order for me to perform in China, I have, because I'm a Taiwanese citizen at the same time, my passport is not recognized by China. If you bring your passport to their customs officer, they'll throw it. They'll throw it down, the hallways to go fetch it because that's a dog's passport. So you go fetch it, you go get it, or they'll throw it in the garbage, they'll shred it. It happened to a lot of people. So what we have to use is this pass. It's called the Comrades Pass. So it's basically a way of assimilation, saying, well, if you get this pass, it means you're part of us. Then you have to, you recognize as part of us. So I have that pass because I went to China once before with my parents as a younger and for tourism. So it's expired. I have to renew it. Now, in order to renew it, I can do it technically in, a Taiwanese embassy. The thing is, in Vancouver, well, I think anywhere in the world, there's no such thing as Taiwanese embassy. We can call it a cultural center, because if it's embassy, it means we're a sovereign nation. So we have a cultural center, who technically is embassy. So I called the Chinese embassy first. They never pick up the phone, so I gave up. So it's probably because they got so many people calling them. It's a big population. I called the Taiwanese Cultural Center, and they said you can't apply here. They disallowed us to do it here because they're doing everything they can to make the lives difficult.
Undermine legitimacy.
Right. So they said I have to go back to Taiwan and reapply there. And I said, well, it's going to take forever. I don't want to sit in Taiwan for weeks and weeks just waiting to apply for something. So the other way around was to take my Canadian passport, purchase a visa, and go into China and perform that way. The thing is, on my Canadian passport, the place of birth says Taiwan. Now, if I go in there and purchase a visa, they will make me take my passport back to the Canadian government saying, please change my place of birth to the province of Taiwan, because Taiwan is not a nation.
Wow.
So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to see what happens. Maybe I'll just renew my Comrade Pass, whatever it is I got to do later on. It's not worth it.
Maybe you'll just go to a work camp for 5 years.
Maybe, yeah. I don't want that.
No,
Well,
that'd be bad.
honeybee, I was thinking that, but I sure as hell didn't want to say that. Okay, this is going on the internet. Okay, I love this, man.
I don't bow
want you-
before the Chinese government.
Dude, that's bad luck to even say that. I'm knocking on wood. Knocking on wood.
I'm an American citizen. Like, they can't put me in
Why
a
do you have
work
to make
camp.
it
Yeah, but
Why do you
I
have to
mean,
make it
but
so
Look at this.
full of threats?
They're the ones who are going to put you in a work
he's having
camp.
to make choices related to his nation of origin.
Sure.
And so he could either A, say, you know what, fuck it. The Chinese have all the money, they have all the influence. I'm just going to become a comrade, and maybe they'll take over our province, our country. But no, he's like taking a stand here. He's saying, you know what, I am who I am. I'm proud of who I am, and fuck yeah, we're a nation. So I'm all behind it. And then
That's
if
why I
you ever get
believe in,
trouble, I will fucking call Arnold Schwarzenegger. We'll get in a fucking airplane. We'll come get you.
That's the difference between the system and the individual. I know a lot of Chinese people; they're great. I love them.
Right.
They're awesome. But systematically, it's a whole different issue, right? So
Communism.
This is what I'm calling.
Communism, like Topher wants for America.
Yeah.
I don't think you want.
Okay, I don't know where that came from.
Not a communist.
Wow.
I'm a democratic socialist. But
I don't know what that was about.
We're just fucking around here.
yeah, I mean, look, Taiwan is fraught. It's a big deal. I don't understand the Chinese government's weak ass position on Taiwan. I feel like if people are your citizens, then and either they're your citizens or they're not your citizens. And the Chinese feel like they can have people not be their citizens, but demand that they be their citizens.
That's the third
Oh,
one.
it's like,
Third
oh,
one.
good. That's a
Yeah,
really
we got another
popular-
focus on your long-term
Long-
Maybe this
Oh.
is a sign.
Yeah.
We
Like,
got to focus on our long-term goals.
we have 3 of them. All 3 of us need to do that.
I mean,
3 of us.
do people who live in Taiwan pay Chinese federal taxes? Is that a thing?
Nope.
So
We have our own democracy. We're
yeah, I don't
our
understand
system's
this.
exactly the same as the American system. We have the Congress, we have the
The
Senate.
U.S.
Yeah.
has every responsibility to back you guys up.
We actually do. We're legally required to
Fuck
defend
yeah.
Taiwan
Fuck yeah.
if China were
Go
ever to invade.
America.
That's why Taiwan gets to be Taiwan, because the Chinese don't want to go toe to toe with us. If we weren't guaranteeing Taiwan's
We're totally gonna get trolled by
fake
right.
the
independence.
Chinese viewers. If they
Oh,
get
this
wind of
is going to be banned on
Yeah.
China by the Great Firewall.
We should also go Taiwan #1. Let's just,
Taiwan.
let's just bring that meme back. You guys know that meme, right?
No.
So there's a lot of online gamers. A lot of them are Chinese, so they get really triggered when you say Taiwan #1.
Of course.
So we got all these American and Canadian players who don't know anything about the Taiwanese-China relation. They just go on there and yell Taiwan #1, and then they get all triggered and they lose the games. So now it's a huge meme on the internet.
So Ed, because we don't pay you anything to be on the show, and we know you came all the way from Canada to hang out with us, we have a custom gift for you.
Okay.
Wow.
A custom gift.
I didn't.
So
Thank you.
This is from all the bees. This is a thank you for being here and sharing your truth.
Okay. I appreciate it. Should I open it now?
Yeah. of
Yeah.
course.
Oh, thank you guys.
This is the moment.
I really appreciate it. There's a lot of bags. That is a love machine.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh, does it dance?
Is that from Valentine's Day?
Possibly. It might have been
Okay.
90% off at CBC.
Yeah. Girl Scout cookies.
Oh, what kind?
Tag along.
Tag-alongs. Like
Oh,
Korean
damn.
tag-alongs.
You know I don't like cookies.
What?
Yeah, I don't. I'll tell you. I don't like baked goods at all. I only like donuts. It's the only thing I like.
What? They're not.
I don't like cookies. I don't like bread. I don't like garlic bread. That's my least favorite.
What?
You know, you
I don't-
could
Like
gift
all the
this. You
good-
could give them to your wife and she'll
Oh,
think
my
you're
wife
so
will love it.
considerate.
My
Yeah.
wife will love these cookies. Thank you
Yeah.
guys. But thank you. I appreciate it.
Right. Now,
My personal preference has nothing to do with your kind.
Yeah, no.
I love this thing.
The
Though.
love machine.
What
is
is this?
great.
What is this
I think
thing?
It does play music if you can
Does it play
figure
music?
out.
Yeah, I
Oh.
didn't know how it would
So
sound.
we got to be true to the bees here. And
Ooh.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's a love machine. That's awesome.
I like how his head's sort of like falling over, sort of. Like he's just very, oh yeah.
Yeah.
okay, can we zoom out, please?
Yeah.
I think you're gonna wait for it to stop.
Yeah.
On the front, on the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay, good.
Oh, it just keeps going. It doesn't stop.
No, I just wanted to get
I'm
back
gonna
to the
put it
show.
away.
So, Ed,
He hates love
would
machine.
your wife consider you a love machine? How are things going in that department?
I think it's going great.
Yeah?
Yeah. I have no
You're bringing-
complaints.
You're bringing people together. You're healing through love.
Why are we healing? Did somebody get hurt?
Daryl's very concerned about
You know
the
we're all
divided
broken.
nature of
What is
humanity.
going on?
You're in an interracial relationship. Talk to us about how acceptance. You
No.
know, do you
Hilarious.
feel? I mean, it's 2018. Do you feel like your relationship is accepted by your family and hers and society? Just talk to us about it.
The
Give us
relationship?
your truth.
There's actually nothing wrong with the relationship. Yeah. It's accepted by both parties. I mean, there's things we got to learn about, I think culturally initially, but now my wife is more Asian than me now in many, many ways. She really enjoys traditional Taiwanese food that I don't even like. And I'm like, why are we eating this? And she likes it. And it's unbelievable. Because initially she was like, I would, like, years ago, she would never eat that stuff. She's like, I wouldn't even consider putting it in my mouth. And now it's her favorite. Like the next to Parlor, I don't know if people know, there's the place called Ding Tai Fung, which is the most famous Taiwanese restaurant in the world. It's got 1 Michelin star. And she loves it. It's her favorite place to go. She goes there and gets the soup dumplings, and that's her favorite thing. And I hate the soup dumplings. It's just not my thing. But yeah, I like all foods. So this really,
Except for baked goods.
except baked
Right.
goods. Yeah, that I will never. You want to know the story behind that?
Yes, I would
So-
love to hear it.
For 8 years of my life, every morning, my dad. I talk about this on my podcast.
Smiley.
Yeah, Smiley. My dad has this thing where he believes, because he grew up in a childhood where my grandma was ill a lot, so she was always in bed. So if he wakes up in the morning and my grandma is in the kitchen, that means she's doing better, which means it's going to be a good day.
Mm.
So he has this belief that if he's in the kitchen in the morning and we see him, it's going to be a good day.
Aw,
Yeah, so he's
that's
there
so sweet.
every morning. So it's one of my podcasts. One of the episodes is called Every Morning. So I talk about this story. He tells me. He didn't tell me till I was 21. So that's when I realized, that's why he's there every morning, even though we're not going to school. He's still there on the weekends.
What a revelation.
I know. So, but he will make breakfast. So our breakfast was those big baguettes of garlic toast.
Yeah.
So he gives a big one. He'll cut a piece and toast it to the point it's super crunchy, like to the point like it's not even
Yeah.
chewable
crisp.
anymore. Yeah. And then he'll have a big glass of 2% milk, and
You
then
dip it?
and then an orange.
Will you dip it?
And that was my breakfast for 8 years every morning.
Oh, wow.
Do you know the
Toasted bread,
do you know the
milk, and an orange?
Do you know the concoction of taste?
That's-
Yeah, that's gross. I'm
Yikes.
sorry. No disrespect.
But nutritionally,
gross.
it was
It has
perfect,
it all.
right? It's got the protein, it's got the carbs, it's got the vitamin
Right.
C.
So you had
And
a
the
big,
orange for
giant
good luck and
crouton,
stuff.
essentially.
Yes, and a glass of milk and,
And no lettuce
an orange.
to go with
Yes,
this crouton.
and we complained. My brother and I finally complained one day, and so he switched it. So he went to Costco. He got the mini pizzas. So each of us would get a mini pizza,
For
a glass of milk, and an orange, and that was just as gross.
Wow.
So this is why I don't like bread.
Okay, fair enough.
I still like orange and milk.
Really?
Yeah,
Oranges
And
and
yet
milk
he
is
was
gross.
doing it to show love and to make it a good day.
I think so. Yeah, I
Probably.
mean that's just it's easy breakfast to make. I think too.
So is Smiley more likely to say something affectionate or do something to show his affection? Because I remember from your podcast, which I listen to every week because I'm a fucking fan. And
Who are you yelling at?
Who's telling me? It's
who's
a family
hurt you?
show.
Yelling at the
who
camera.
has hurt you, Daryl?
I think he's
you
expressing
said
his
something
love
about a
verbally.
story where the payoff was that he gave you a $5 discount on his service to help you clean or move or something, and that was after you told him you loved him. And so I'm just getting from that he doesn't exactly tell you every day, I love you, but he shows you through his love language.
I don't think he's ever said he loves me.
Wow.
He's
ever.
never said it. Yeah,
Wow.
not verbally, but action-wise, I think every day. My dad had gotten a fight. I think like 3 years ago. And that's the only time we ever fought. I don't even know what it was about. I think it was about the car I was about to sell or something. It was something so stupid. And then we got this big conflict and we didn't talk to each other. My mom went to my wife and she's like, I've never seen them fight. This is the first time they got in a conflict like this. And I had to apologize to my dad because I was just being dumb. I don't even remember what it was. But yeah, my dad and I, he's not the type of dad you see on TV. He's like, oh, how are you feeling? It's none of that. But he's always there. He lets me do the things I want to do, and most of it is dumb, and he just lets me learn my lessons. Like, he's there to ensure safety, but he also doesn't let me not do it either.
We have to learn by doing. I think as a parent that you have to give them the safety net, or you have to give them the opportunities to screw up, because that's when you really learn the most. Anyway.
Well, I
how
have
learned.
this little table vacuum. This is one of my episodes too, on my podcast. So if you want to check it out, it's called Son of Smiley. So he gave it to me. He said, don't play with it. Just use it to vacuum the eraser bits. So, of course, I open it up. And then I turn on, you know how this little fan that spins? I'm like, oh, maybe I can stop with my finger.
Oh no!
So I stick my middle
Oh,
finger
no.
and totally destroys my hand.
Yeah.
So I go downstairs and it's just oozing, and I can't feel any pain because it's so injured.
Yeah.
Right? I go like that. I show him. He just goes, "Well, that's what happens." He just walks away.
That's how I parent. Like, touch the stove, not gonna do it again.
Yeah.
Natural consequences to the extreme. Wow. Hey, thanks for doing this podcast and also for doing my live show at Laughs in Seattle on March 1st. It was super fun. We did the Fishbowl of Secrets. I kind of had mixed feelings about the outcome of the secrets. I'm not sure if the audience really gave the deepest secrets, but you were up there. You went through a ton of them. What was that like for you? Just the whole premise of the idea, and do you think it, how would you do it if you were to do it again?
Well, I think we should bring the person who told the secret up and interview them.
Mm.
I think
That's
that would be
good.
really fun.
I like
right?
that.
It'd be like a confessional type deal.
And if your secret gets picked, you get a prize. So
But then
you get interviewed. So sometimes it's
But maybe they
anxiety provoking for
want
people.
to be
but-
secreted out.
Yeah, the whole idea was to keep the secrets anonymous so they could just say it, and kind of like calling a radio show, and it kind of gets out there without their name. But I noticed that you want to know whose secrets are these? Who's the person that doesn't wash their hand after they go to the bathroom? Like, why do you want to know who did it?
Because it really shows character.
Or lack
My
thereof.
feeling was
Or you can bring one secret and you just pick 3 people from the show, go on stage, and you ask them a question about the secret. Then you have to guess whose secret it is. It may not be any of those 3 people's secrets,
Oh.
right?
Secret.
Because you just randomly pick 3 people, and they'll answer
Yeah.
questions according to your secret.
That's a fun idea.
And they don't know this. You don't have to say. You can't say the secret out loud. So you reveal the secret in the end. You're like, this is the secret. And then
And
it'd
they're
be like, is any of your secrets? It'd be like, no. Or one guy would be like, yeah, it's mine. Or something like that.
I feel like people were very reticent to tell actual secrets. And so the interview thing might just work because people weren't being very forthcoming with their secrets anyway. So they might be more inclined to...
They seem more like pitches.
Like
improv
yeah,
pitches.
it didn't, yeah. People were not
Like
very
secrets.
forthcoming with secrets.
Well, let's do something like that now. Let's do the whole truth lie thing. So one thing might, instead of just being a truth, let's make it a secret truth. Ooh.
So a truth that you never told anybody kind
Two
of thing?
truths and a lie.
Secret truth and 2 lies.
2 truths and a lie.
Oh, is that how it goes?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, and you have to try to figure out which thing is the lie.
Yes, I like that.
Okay, so we're totally done with the secret idea. Thanks.
Well, it's a secret.
Well,
There's secret truth.
I'm so
It's a lie.
confused now, yeah.
I like that.
2 truths and a lie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And,
I'll go first. I will say...
And they have to be pretty...
3 things
it can't
about
be,
myself.
It can't be superficial, that's what you're saying.
Well...
It has to be somewhat of a secret nature.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's... You don't...
You can't be like...
If my truth was like, I'm a biological male, that's kind of a stupid bullshit truth because I'm fairly male over here. So you want this...
Well, don't bring your binary...
I'm just saying you want your truth to be, not something that's like really easy to
Obvious.
determine.
Okay. Or embarrassing moments of the past.
Maybe if I made my truth, I was on a podcast once. Like that would be a dumb truth to pick.
Yeah.
Because
not something
All
superficial.
right,
Yeah.
I got it.
yeah.
So I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna say, let's see.
Here we go.
I've never had sex with a woman. I have sailed a boat on the ocean from Seattle to Portland. Well, I have never had sex with a woman. I have eaten a woman out before.
So we had to figure out the lie, right?
Which thing is the lie?
I think it's the last one because you had to think about it.
I had to think about all of them.
I think it's the first one.
That I've never had sex with a woman?
Yeah, it's a lie. I think you have at least
Marlene,
once.
what's your vote?
But if you think that that's the lie, then my truths are that I sailed a boat on the ocean and I have eaten a woman out.
And first off, I hate that term, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
It's not offending me or triggering me, but it's just
It is
gross
somewhat
to say.
indelicate.
It's just gross.
Performed cunnilingus.
What's the best way to put it then?
I don't know. Maybe like going down or something.
Okay.
I've never preferred going down.
See, it's interesting because he has 2 items that are the same
kind
category.
of
Yeah,
yeah.
so
I was trying to make it hard.
Penetration is different, though. That's like a thing crossing
Yeah.
the line. So my guess would be the lie is penetration.
the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're same boat as me? Okay. Daryl?
I'm going with going down as a lie.
It's
Wait a
gotta-
minute.
it's gotta be the
if
boat.
He went all the way, then he probably went down.
It's gonna be the
too.
boat. This
Not
guy's
necessarily.
he's probably scared of water.
No.
All right, I'm going to stick to it.
Okay,
Which
what
one's
is
lie?
I'm for some reason just now realizing that all of them were true.
What?
So I ruined the game.
You suck at this
everyone.
game.
Ow.
You are horrible.
right.
at
I'm bad at
this
it.
game.
I'm glad you guys were like, I don't know what I was thinking. What was my plan?
He just had a
there?
confession.
I
You
feel
turned
like
this
I had
game-
a plan,
We're
and
not, we're not in the
You
Catholic
messed
Church. Why
all
are you?
up.
Why are you confessing?
It's hard
All
to
right.
do. It's hard to like come up with truths that are at all interesting and like not give away the lie like in the moment.
Mm.
Well, I got to say the bees love good sharing. So good job, Topher.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I shared a lot.
Yes.
I shared
Good-
a lot.
good
about
confession.
Sex
I
with
had
women.
no idea.
We're all
I had no
uncomfortable
idea.
now. It's
No.
good.
Okay. Who's next?
I think Daryl. He's gonna talk about female asses. Or
Yeah,
something.
Daryl owns more panties than he owns men's underwear.
He owns more panties than I have.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we already know that I worked at a chicken farm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I'm definitely a chicken farm worker.
You're a chicken choker. Sorry.
Is that one of your items?
Choke my chicken.
No.
You're making
no,
this
no.
too easy.
No. Okay.
You know.
Okay, the first love of my life also worked at the chicken farm. While I was at the chicken farm, I penetrated a chicken with a phallic piece of metal.
Okay.
And I also smoked weed on my 21st birthday.
Well, that third one's really anticlimactic.
So
Yeah.
work the things are work at the chicken farm, rape the chicken, and smoked weed
For the first time.
for the first time on your
21st.
21st birthday, and one of those things is a lie.
Yeah.
I think the lie is the penetration.
Yeah, just because I have
That's
hope
like
for
Jeffrey
humankind.
Yeah, the chicken.
I hope the chicken
Chicken.
rape thing is
Chicken
the lie.
rape is the lie.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, see.
I wouldn't do that. I was actually a little horrified when I heard about it. I didn't see it, but
Somebody
I heard
did
about it.
Oh, someone else did it.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it would very much troubled me.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. These were some very disturbed kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, true truth. The first super crush of my life was this girl. Her name was Catherine, and she worked. She not only worked at the chicken farm, she lived at the chicken farm.
Ooh.
Oh, that poor girl.
And so, yeah, and then during break, she came in with homemade cookies. She delivered homemade cookies to me, and they tasted like heaven.
And lemonade, I'm sure.
Hell yeah.
And she was very, comely and whatnot.
Oh my God. Yeah, she
And
was.
demure and such.
Were you guys friends or dating?
Oh no, it was very much the girl I always looked at, but I had no courage at that age.
Let's have a moment of
I don't
silence
game.
for Daryl's friend
I
zone.
had no game.
Was it like her dad's chicken farm, or
You know what? She may have been a foster
she
kid. I don't
just
really know.
lived on the chicken farm?
Yeah, every day she went to school, and 4 days out of the week she wore the same dress. So I'm pretty sure she was a foster kid.
Cool.
I talked to her years later on Facebook. Thanks, Facebook.
Was she still wearing the same thing?
Yeah, what's her profile?
Maybe
look
that's
like?
her favorite dress.
Her
Why are you
Facebook
judging
profile
her?
picture was
Jobs?
like American Gothic.
Yeah.
She's like
Steve
stood there with
Jobs
some
and
guy.
Bill Gates always
Yeah,
wear the
I mean,
same
I
thing. Yeah.
believe in like a uniform kind of thing. There's actually, it takes more mental power to pick out all your stuff in the morning, especially women. Just wear the same thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I'm literally wearing probably 80% of the clothes that I wore the last time we did this podcast.
Mhm. Yeah. I like wearing the same stuff.
Yeah.
I have like 3 of a lot of things, and I'll just, keep on wearing it because it fits and stuff.
By the
Good.
way, I figured it out. I said that I performed cunnilingus upon a woman, and that was the lie.
Oh,
So that was a lie?
Yeah, that was
Oh,
not
okay.
true. So yeah,
Oh,
that's.
okay.
I was confused because then I thought I had said that I didn't, and
Right.
yeah,
so that means I won.
yeah.
Oh, one for Daryl.
Woo!
Me?
Marlene.
I'm up. Okay. I was forced in 5th grade. I was forced to stand at the chalkboard and do long division, and I got so freaked out that I peed my pants. Well, I started to pee my pants, so I ran out of the hallway and went down the hallway and peed my pants. And then the nurse is like, "What happened?" And I'm like, "The boy that was watering the flowers spilled the water on me."
Oh,
Okay. Then the second would be back in high school in art class. Chuck I had this like sweatshirt thing on that had a zipper down the middle, and he unzippered it, and I didn't have an undershirt underneath, and I was exposed to everybody, but I was wearing a bra, but I wasn't wearing a shirt, and I hauled off and I clocked him in the face. No,
Yeah.
I slapped him in the face. And the third one is I decided to shoplift.
That's a lie. You're hesitating left and right.
yes. Shoplift.
The other two are so
Shoplift.
smooth. She's like,
Shop.
See, I can't lie. That's
It's
he's
hard to
right.
do on the spot because you gotta
If
kind
I
of
had
like.
it written down or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
But yeah, all those other 2 things were actually very, very traumatic.
Yeah, I bet.
All I heard about the first story was that you made a false allegation against a young man, and I think you should feel bad about that.
There was nobody in the hallway. There were no plants in the hallway to water.
Right, the boy was watering the plants and he
A boy
watered my
watered on me.
crotch.
Do you know what that would
No,
mean if I was an
it
adult?
might have been a girl. I just said a kid. You know,
Right.
it was like, I don't even remember what I said. But it was so mortifying, and I think that's why I'm not good at math.
How
old were you?
Yeah.
how old were you?
At the time, 5th grade.
Oh,
Fifth
so
or-
you're like what?
Fifth or sixth, it was Mr.
That's 10 and
Pilecki.
11.
10, yeah.
Mr. Pilecki's.
It's okay.
Mr. Pilecki's
No, but
class.
everyone-
Going in front of the class is scary. business.
Everyone's innocent. It's
Especially
fine.
when you hate math.
I always used to hate it because they used to make you do math by the time I was in school on the overhead projector in that vis-a-vis marker,
Oh,
and I'm
right.
left-handed. That is like not a thing that my body is actually capable of pulling off.
It was chalkboard still, and I remember having this chalk holder thing, and you put the chalk in, and you could like click it
Yeah.
and write on it. I thought it was so cool.
I can write on chalkboards and whiteboards because I write like out, like I don't hold it with my hand resting on the board. Like I'm making very big letters and
Yeah.
stuff, so I'm like hold it out like this. But on those projectors, you have to write really small, like you would on a piece of paper. So I'd like put my hand down and try to like do the math, and like the equation would get smeared. We
Good
should
sharing.
not do
Good
it.
sharing.
Thank you.
All right,
Look
now
at
let's
me.
make Ed
I
do
know
it
my
since
Here
Here
we
we
all
go.
have to
It's
do
my
it.
turn. All right. So, my deepest fear is Chinese New Year music. That's my first one.
Okay.
Second one, my ex-girlfriend, the last woman I dated before I got married, so not my wife, was born a man. Last one is when I was 6, I slept at the bottom of my parents' bed, and I did not know how to wipe my butt. So I had to go to the bathroom, so I was afraid to go. So what I did instead is I went up on the bed and just laid a huge log on the bottom of their feet
On
at the edge of the bed. So that's my third one.
Wow.
Ooh, what's
Very
the
graphic.
lie?
See, you had all that time to think about it.
Okay, my vote is the last one's a lie because there's so much.
Okay.
The other two were like, this was what happened, that's what happened. So that's my
Okay.
guess.
Okay, that's a good one. I'm gonna say the second one, where your last girlfriend was born a man.
I also say the second one.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh!
Yeah,
Dang
that
it,
was a
my
lie.
gut. That was actually my gut.
All right. So
Yeah.
I won 2. That means I get the rest of the fortune cookies later, right?
Yes, that's how it works.
They have all the same fortunes, I think.
They just say,
That means
focus on your
Long-term
long-term
goals.
goals.
it's definitely gonna happen.
Family's more valuable than money.
Okay, well, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
All right, Topher, take the floor. What do you want to talk about today?
I want to talk about traffic and how it's awful.
Oh! Okay.
Yes. So,
We hate traffic.
Traffic.
Yeah.
Traffic.
I hate traffic, as do I think most people. But one of the things that I really particularly hate about traffic is all of the armchair city planners who think that they have like what is the most obvious and clear solution to fixing the traffic problems. As though, if nobody sat down for more than 5 minutes to think about the concept of there being a traffic problem. And so that their thing that they came up with that one time is clearly the solution. You get a lot of people who blame traffic on bike lanes. You get a lot of people who blame traffic on freeways not being wide enough. And it's always more complicated than that. It is always more complicated than that. And why is it that always the people who are complaining about traffic are the same people who complain about public transportation? They're like, oh, I hate traffic. There's all these people on the road and I can't get anywhere. We got to spend all our money on buses and trains and it's garbage.
They should be taking the public transportation.
What I want to know is like, if you hate traffic so much, why don't you want to like banish, say, a third of the people who are on the road with you to like a train so they're not on the road anymore? Like, why is that not a thing that you understand?
I don't know.
It baffles me.
Yeah, I would think that I like public transportation, but every once in a while I have to take a car somewhere.
Yeah.
So I love the light rail.
Yeah. And all those people would be driving their own cars.
Yeah.
And now they're not.
That's true.
Why
Good
is it
point.
that the traffic haters are also the transit haters? It's like
'Cause they're haters in general.
yeah.
Hashtag haters. Yeah.
Boom.
So,
Very
Daryl,
close to karaoke time.
How does that relate to race relations?
Yeah. Wrap it all up.
Yeah.
Let's
Let's
wrap it
summarize.
all up in a nice
Bring it
little.
together. Well, here's what we're going to do to bring it home. I feel like you want to know, how are we going to bring it home? How is this? What is the purpose of this?
Show?
And I will tell you.
Yeah, what is the point of this show, Daryl?
I will,
For those who don't know, I messaged Daryl all week last week.
Wondering
Asked
what
him
the show was
what
about?
the point of the show was, and he got angry.
No, I didn't. I said we're here to entertain and to showcase our guests, and that's exactly what we do.
The show is about nothing. It's like Seinfeld,
I
and if
know.
you have a problem with this show, you have a problem with Seinfeld.
What's the deal with?
All right, bring it home, Daryl.
So the truth is that the purpose is we want to know what your purpose is. So like any good writer or any good artist or anybody that's trying to convey something from their heart, they're trying to share their truth with the world. And if you were to boil down the one thing that is the through line that goes through all of your material, that goes through all of your thoughts, the thing that you think about that inspires you, the thing that you want your comedy, you don't go up there and just make jokes for ha-has. You actually are trying to say something. What I want to know is, what is that through line? What is your underlying truth that is within your work, that repeats itself, that is your truth that you must share with the world? Share with us now.
I just do it for the ha-has.
Just the ha-has, huh?
No, I think this is a good question. I think about it all the time. You know, I talk about this with my wife all the time, is why am I doing this? And I think partially is that we are all part of this universe. And by being a part of this is to share our stories. So is what I'm really doing is just being a part of this whole thing by sharing my piece and being who I am. I think that's what it is.
So,
Yeah.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
great.
And then the ha-has.
yeah,
Would be
the
nice.
ha-has are
It's
good.
fun.
Yeah,
It's
watch
fun.
I said that in the show after this. It's going to be 30 minutes of no ha-has. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't want to be anything right now. I don't want to be here.
Right. Fuck off back to Canada.
Yeah. I don't want to be alive.
I think we need to go even deeper. I think
Yep.
you said some truth here, but what is it about being a part of this universe and having your voice or being heard and connecting with other people? What is go deeper? Tell us.
This is the part where you
What is
say
he
that you
doing?
were sexually
What is-
assaulted as a
what is he
child
doing?
by a member of the clergy, and
wants
tearfully
you to
you admit
share
that your
your
comedy
Well, I think
is
it's
about...
the idea. This is what I truly believe in. This gets a little spiritual. Is that the concept of God? Like my concept of God is really very similar to the original Jewish concept of God. It's the idea of one. That the word God means one. That we're all one, and what God truly is all of us. We're all part of God. And you know, so to find meaning in that is really pointless. Is because the meaning is you, whatever you are doing and what you are, you know, operating in this oneness is the meaning. That there's no meaning outside of this oneness. So I think, you know, I'm doing comedy because that's something I want to do. That's that I want to tell my story. One day it may be that I don't want to tell my story anymore, and that's just part of this universe. That's something I'm going to do now.
Right.
So you want the audience, you want the bees to hear your story.
I want the bees to be.
Nice. Bees.
Stop doing that. It's really weird. You're violating the oneness of the universe. That's disrupting the whole flow.
I thought that was-
Killing my feng shui.
I think you're stepping on
Feng shui.
you're stepping on your own truth. So let's enjoy the purity of that moment.
I do
Let's.
not want to.
So many things to tell her, but how to make her see the truth about my past? Impossible. She'd turn away from me.
He's holding back, he's hiding. But what I can't decide. Why won't he be the king I know he is? The king I see inside.
Can you feel the love tonight? The peace the evening brings. The world for once in perfect harmony with all its living things. Can you feel the love tonight? You needn't look too far.
thank you for having me on the show. Make sure you check out, what's this show called?
Just go.
Make sure you check out this show. I don't know what it's called, but it's really good. Make sure you subscribe. You really need to subscribe. Just let you know. Check out the subscribers. You'll know why. And if you want to find me, go on my website, kingedhill.com. Or if you want to check out my podcast called Son of Smiley, it's sonofsmiley.com. I'm Ed Hill. Thanks for having me. I'll see you guys around.